This sequence takes place at the beginning of James Gray's film Little Odessa. It follows the opening sequence, in which Joshua Shapira, a cold, professional hitman working for the Russian Jewish mafia, has just carried out a contract killing elsewhere. He is then ordered by his boss to take care of another hit in Brighton Beach, the Brooklyn neighborhood nicknamed Little Odessa because of its large community of Russian and Jewish immigrants. It follows also the sequence where the father enters in his home. Joshua hesitates for a moment. He knows he has been banished from the neighborhood for years, but ultimately accepts the job. He arrives quietly in the neighborhood. He stops his car in front of the family building and looks up at the lit window of the apartment. We sense it is his mother Irina's room. She is gravely ill. He does not knock on the door or go upstairs. He simply watches from a distance, like a stranger, almost like a ghost. His gaze is silent, tense, filled with nostalgia and guilt. He then drives away and checks into the Metropole Hotel, a modest, impersonal hotel in the area where he plans to stay discreetly while carrying out his contract. However, he is spotted by Sasha, an old friend from the neighborhood who still hangs around. Sasha recognizes him immediately while looking at the family house and follows him with his car. The next morning, Sasha quietly approaches the young Reuben, Joshua's younger brother, in front of the newsstand run by their father Arkady. In a low voice, he tells him, "Your brother is here. He's back." He adds that Joshua is staying at the Metropole and asks Reuben not to tell anyone it was him who saw Joshua. Reuben, visibly excited and fascinated by his almost mythical older brother, receives the news as both a shock and an opportunity. In just a few shots, this sequence lays the foundation for the tragedy to come and introduces the impossible return of the prodigal son. He is not simply a bad guy. He is an internal exile. The shot in which he stares at the window symbolizes both attraction, family, Russian Jewish roots, his dying mother, and repulsion, the father who drove him away, the criminal past that clings to him. The film already feels like a biblical tragedy, as the names Joshua and Reuben are direct references to the Old Testament. The community is a trap. Little Odessa is a village inside the big city. You cannot return there unnoticed. The fact that a random guy, Sasha, recognizes Joshua in a second and immediately goes to warn Reuben shows how porous the neighborhood is and how quickly information spreads. This is realistic. The Russian Jewish immigrant communities in Brighton Beach in the years following 1980 and 1990 were something sometimes close from the representation in the movie. It is also dramatically powerful. Joshua's secret is doomed from the moment he arrives. You never really escape your origins. The scene sets up the opposition between the two sons, Joshua, the older brother, cold, professional, determined to keep his distance, and Reuben, the dreamy teenager in rebellion against paternal authority, who sees his older brother as a role model, a romanticized rebel figure, in front of the failures of the father. The moment in front of the father's newsstand is ironic. It is right in front of the very symbol of Arkady's failure. The father is an intellectual reduced to selling newspapers. It is in front of this failure that the cursed son is announced. This sets up the central conflict of the film. Reuben will idealize Joshua and risk following the same destructive path. This takes place in a complete lack of glamour. The Metropole Hotel, with its pale neon lights and empty hallways, is a place of transition and solitude, where Joshua is both at home and completely foreign. The whole sequence creates a quiet tension and a very Jewish, very New York melancholy. This passage is not just a narrative transition. It is a perfect miniature of the entire film. When you have blood on your hands, family is both a refuge and a prison, and in a neighborhood like Little Odessa, everyone knows everything, all the time. Too many people know too many things. But they don't see evil where it is all the time. It is the beginning of an inexorable tragedy.
Тише, calme-toi. Doucement, doucement. Calme-toi. Réveille-toi, allez,
Hein?
réveille-toi.
Quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'il y
Descends.
a?
Descends de la
Qu'est-ce
voiture.
qu'il y a?
Allez, descends.
Pourquoi?
Enfoiré de sa mère.
Salut.
C'est un retard.
Oui, c'est à cause de maman.
Il faut que je m'absente. Tu gardes le kiosque.
Ouais.
Fais le compte de la petite monnaie et mets tout dans la boîte.
Bonjour. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Il est parti.
Ouais.
Si je te dis un truc important, tu jures de garder le secret?
Ouais.
Dis pas ouais comme ça. C'est du sérieux.
Ça va. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Non, c'est trop.
Oh, allez, accouche.
D'accord. Mais ça coûte cher.
Combien?
Ça. Les clopes?
Celle-là? Je t'en file un paquet.
Non. 2 cartouches par semaine.
Ouais, bon, d'accord. Alors c'est quoi?
Surtout, je ne t'ai rien dit. Attention,
Ouais.
si tu le répètes à quelqu'un, t'es mort.
Ouais, bon, ça va. Dis-moi ce que c'est maintenant.
Ton frère est ici. À boucler.
Où est-il?
Je l'ai vu entrer au métropole, dans Queens. C'est tout ce que je sais.
Calme-toi, Elina, je suis là. Calme-toi. Tige, 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 calme-toi. Doucement.